Jean Paul Marat, it's a pleasure to have you on our humble show. May I call you Jean? Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here. And yes, Jean is fine. Well, Jean, as I understand it, you're a psychologist, a radio particulate ferretist, a scientist, quite a career you've got there. By any chance, is this career path influenced by your family or surroundings? The second eldest of 9 Swiss-born children, my mother, Jean Mara, was a Huguenot from Castries. My father, however, was merely a commoner and a religious refugee. I would call him the filth of my family, truly a disgrace if you ask me. If it weren't for his high education, in a way, yes, this did shape my career, as it forced me to leave my home at a mere age of 16, to rid myself of them. Yes, I am not a fool. I was aware it would be hard for an outsider like me to get a job, so I had limited options. So I turned to the wealthy Narek family in Bordeaux for assistance. Naturally, after 2 years, I found a place to study medicine without gaining any formal qualifications. Interesting, I would have never guessed you had it so rough being a middle-class person. And Jean, you're quite popular with the ladies. I guess I really was a lovable character. So it was natural that the ladies fawned over me. I was with a woman named Simone Evergard. She was a peculiar little thing. She didn't really make that exciting of a partner. So naturally, as a godlike creature I was bound to break up with her sooner or later, if it weren't for unseen circumstances. And then, heavens knows, some insight in being a radical journalist and politician from the French Revolution. By the 14th, 1789, in the storming of Bastille, I declared that 500 to 600 unclean heads should be cut in order to install a new holy regimen to make France once again a divine castle full of hope, much like myself. My goal was to eliminate all of the people near or far related to the rotten tooth-white king. In 1792, I talked about my wish to see the new dictatorship installed where the true values of the revolution would be implemented. You really were a gift to the French people. Yes, I was. Very, very useful. And you were actually lucky enough to be elected as the National Convention. My role was a calling from above. As you stated, news reporter, I was elected to the National Convention where I sat with these chumps calling themselves the Montagards. Get elected for any other roles? In 1993, I also was naturally elected president of Jacksonian Club, where they asked the distribution of the Gordons, who were so clearly the enemies of republicanism. The Gordons attacked the dictatorship of the Longards and their famous leaders, Robespierre, Dalton, and you. The battle between two parties ended on June the 2nd, 1793. The convention declared to eliminate all the Gordiniers. Oh, funny name they are. This was a very important victory for me, as I became even more popular to the mindless sheep. I understand and acknowledge your good rep, Jane. However, did you gain this other than destroying the Gordons? I believe it was my strength of character that really gained me the popular between the lower class and, I'm going to say this wrong, but they were a very weird bunch that you could probably never remember anyways. The provinces? Oh well, whatever. I was the object of particular fear and hatred to those who supported the moderate revolution that had produced the limited monarchy. The authorities frequently tried to silence me, but I avoided their arrest by hiding in with the aid of my supporters and publish his journal, but at least internally. I'm glad you're telling us the truth of this bloodstained tragedy. Truly so glad right now. Very glad. Despite your extreme temperament, you were known as the people's friend. How did you feel about this? I acknowledged the title I was given. Quite clever. It was most likely a pun on my paper, the friend of the people, of which many admired me for. News reporter. I am to say a little bit curious about your papers. Can you tell me about them? Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to. Verse 1798. I started my own first newspaper, La Mente du Peuple, which means friend of the people, where I attacked the enemies of the revolution. The French crowd was found these articles where the conversations were criticized at every level, the French society. Even inside the tirettes, I was pretty aggressive towards mainly Necker and La Follette, who I thought didn't deserve that publicity. Did you think it was fitting on someone of your standing? In My Bathtub by Charlotte Corday. I mean, who even is she? What do you think? Would you like to be stabbed? Gave you a national honor alongside a grandiose funeral. Prayed with these words, here sleeps Marat, the friend of the people who was killed by the enemies of the people on July 13th, 1973. And on September the 21st, 1794, I was eventually declared an immortal and was assumed by the Puffon Cough. Guess they really got that right. Here I am speaking to you. I must clearly be immortal. Your death actually also became a painting entitled The Death of Marat. Quite famed, actually. Wait, what? I was painted in my bath, my private bath, by some random... that. Who stated he painted it. Rumors, but I also heard from a little bird that you had a skin condition, hiding the parasites, where I almost certainly aggravated my debilitating clinical skin disease, possibly dermatitis herpes, forcing me to spend much of my hours and hours in a bed or a medical bath. Was I even in the bath at your death? Why I was in the bath of my unfortunate circumstance, which is yet to occur, by the way. Thanks for joining us today. It was so interesting to have you to shine the light on this tragedy. Thank you for coming. News reporter, whatever your name is, it is clearly I who should be thanking you for this opportunity to tell the people the truth about what happened that unfortunate time in France that unfortunately ended with my death. But hey, who am I to judge? I saved a lot of lives and killed 500, 400, but that doesn't matter.